and I don't like that line, so I'm going to undo it. There you go, and undo again, and do a bit of a redo. Now, like I said, I'm going to go back to 10, and I'm going to use that to soften the edges. So far we're getting a bit of a composition here for the light on her face, and I'm going to use the original color to soften those shaded areas. And I'm just going to start experimenting. First off, I want the lips to be more of a pinky hue, and so I'm going to pick this one down here, and I'm going to do the light color first. Now there's a trick for doing lips, and it's really neat. The upper lip is always darker because it has more of a shadow on it. So I'm going to pick the color above it, or below it, as the shadow color, and I'm just going to drop that in. And now you see automatically her lips look more natural. Now I made a mistake there. You see that little bit of shadow off to the right. Go back to the original, or back to the color picker, pick 10, the original color, and just soften that. There it is, gone. Now the eyes don't look right because they're flesh tone in the white part, and the pupils have no color, or the irises have no color. So I'm going to go back in with white, and I'm just going to add a little bit of white there, corners, and then I'm going to pick a color for her eyes. Now I'm just going to do one color to begin. I'm just going to put blue in, and I'm going to zoom in so I can see better here. Zoom in and add a bit of blue. But because this program allows you to add quite a bit of detail, as you can see, we're zoomed in, we can see all the pixels, it's quite magnified. I'm going to pick more colors to add in with that blue. Maybe a soft turquoise to add on the edge. And that looks good to me. Now I'm going to go back to my original, and I'm going to touch up that little spot there that I just made above the right eye. And I'm going to take 11 to do underneath and just soften that a bit right here. Okay, zooming back out, I'm going to pick more of the pinky color, and I'm just going to try and work that in. Now I can use that almost as a highlight, and so it's not just restricted to those cheek dots, but throughout, just to give her a bit more warmth. And so I'm going to go through the forehead like that, and don't worry, I'm going to soften this up with the original color again. So zooming out a bit, I can see that it's working, but it's a little dramatic. So I'm going to go back to 10, or pick a lighter color to bring out the nose a bit, and then go back to 10. So here we are, back to 10, and I can just soften this a bit. Might be better if I zoom in so you can see. And there we go, give her a little bit of a bump on the end of the nose, and then using number 11 I can actually add a shadow underneath the tip of the nose like that. That looks more natural. And then I'm going to use 12A to make it even darker around the nostrils, as it would be. And add a bit more in the very tucked into the corner of the eye where it would be the darkest. And her chin looks fairly prominent, but I can make it even more prominent by adding even darker shadow on the edge, like that. And the same goes for under the neck, or under the jaw, on the neck. So there we go. Okay, so you'll notice that if I pick a color that's 12, let's say one step lighter, I can get a little bit of a fade on those shadows. And now I can go back in and go right along the edge, right like that. Now we really have an illusion of 3D on the face, but as you can see, it got a little bit choppy or bumpy, so it's just a matter of going back and forth a bit. And I'm using the single pixel tool brush, which is helping a lot because it gives me a lot of control over just how much I can add and how little I can add. And right now she's starting to look a little too tough because I made the jaw too dark. So I added too much feature to her jaw, and it's just too masculine for such a soft character. So I'm gonna soften that and undo that little bit of work that I did. If I was doing a man's face, that would have been perfectly appropriate, but this is an oval face and softer contours and more feminine. So I'm really going to soften that on the chin because it was just way too much. Now what I can do now is I want to pick out the highlights, and I already tried the pink, which is down here, but now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to pick the white, and I'm just going to add single pixel spots, and I'm going to pepper it, and it's a technique called stippling. So I can pepper, bump, 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 like that, and add a little bit, and I can do the same thing on the ball of the chin, and then on the edge of the eye underneath the eyebrow where it will catch the light. And it looks too dramatic. So you go in with the number 10 again, the original flesh tone, and you just soften it a bit by peppering as well, again, and just soften those edges a bit. And if you're to zoom in really far, you'll see just how much the softening works. It leaves a little bit of the white and doesn't completely cover it up. So you can go in with the white again at this level of zoom and start to, let's say on the left eye over here, I can really paint that in, and then go back to the 10, the original flesh tone, and just soften it a bit. So there we have an edge, and it looks a lot more convincing. And you can be as picky as you like. So in this case, I'm just gonna go in and add more to the nose, and that looks pretty good to me. However, because I did the initial illustration or coloring, doodling, with the intent of making her features a lot stronger, she's still a little too hard looking. So I'm going to go in with that 10 and just soften all these shadows. Just pull them back a bit. So that she's a little softer featured, a little more doll-like instead of masculine. So now I want to go into the nose here, and then under the neck, or under the jaw, under the chin, on the neck. There we go. Soften that. And if we zoom out, there we have a face. It can be improved upon. I could keep picking away at this forever until I'm happy, but we don't have that much time. This gives you the general idea though. Softening and going back and correcting and softening and adding. And that looks alright. So next we'll work on the hair, and I guess that would probably be another tutorial. It's the same process, and it really is just a matter of laying down your base color and then peppering in the colors on top, and that's how this hat was done. And it's the same thing. You can actually just stipple to add color, and if you don't like something, you hit the undo.